In a small village, there lived a poor family. The family consisted of a father named John, a mother named Mary, and their two children, Tom and Lily. They lived in a small, old house made of wood, which stood at the edge of the village. The roof was leaky, the windows were cracked, and the walls were thin, but it was the only home they had. John worked as a farmer, toiling in the fields from sunrise to sunset. He didn't earn much, but he worked hard to provide for his family. Mary helped by taking care of the home and the children. She also did some sewing work for the neighbors to earn a little extra money. Despite their poverty, the family was close-knit. They didn't have much, but they had each other, and that was the most important thing. In the evenings, after a long day of work, they would sit together by the fireplace, talking and sharing stories. Tom, the elder child, was 12 years old. He was a bright and curious boy who loved to learn. He attended the village school, where he excelled in his studies. Lily, his younger sister, was 8 years old. She was kind-hearted and always had a smile on her face. She looked up to her brother and enjoyed helping her mother around the house. Life was hard for the family, but they never complained. They knew that many other families in the village were also struggling, and they were grateful for what little they had. Dreams and desires. One evening, after dinner, the family sat together as usual. Tom was reading a book, and Lily was playing with her doll. Mary was knitting a scarf, and John was sitting quietly, lost in thought. After a while, John spoke up. "I wish we could have a better life. I wish I could give you all more than just the basics. I want to see Tom and Lily have a bright future." Mary looked at her husband with a gentle smile. "We're doing our best, John. We may not have much, but we have each other. That's more important than anything." Tom, who had been listening, put down his book and said, "I want to help too, Father. When I grow up, I want to become a doctor. Then, I can take care of you and Mother, and we won't have to worry about money." John smiled at his son's words. "That's a wonderful dream, Tom. But becoming a doctor takes a lot of hard work and money for school. It won't be easy." "I know," Tom replied, "but I'm willing to work hard. I'll do whatever it takes to achieve my dream." Lily, who had been playing quietly, joined the conversation. "I want to be a teacher when I grow up. I want to help other children learn and be happy." Mary's eyes filled with pride as she listened to her children's dreams. "Those are wonderful dreams, my dear children. And if you work hard and stay determined, I'm sure you will achieve them." The family continued to talk about their dreams and hopes for the future. Even though their life was difficult, they had big dreams and believed that things would get better someday. A new opportunity. The next day, John went to the market to sell the vegetables he had grown. It was a hot day, and the market was crowded with people. As John was setting up his stall, he overheard a conversation between two men. "I heard they're looking for workers in the city," one man said. "They're offering good pay, better than what we get here." "Really?" the other man replied. "I've been thinking about going to the city. Life here is too hard, and there aren't many opportunities." John listened carefully. The idea of going to the city intrigued him. He had heard stories about how people could find better jobs and make more money there. Maybe, just maybe, it could be a way for him to provide a better life for his family. When John returned home that evening, he told Mary about what he had heard. "What do you think, Mary? Should we consider going to the city? It might be our chance to improve our lives." Mary thought for a moment before responding. "It's a big decision, John. The city is far away, and we don't know what life will be like there. But if it means a better future for our children, maybe it's worth considering." John nodded. "I'll go to the city first and see if I can find work. If things go well, I'll bring you and the children there." Tom, who had been listening, spoke up. "Father, I want to come with you. I can help you, and I want to see the city too." John looked at his son, proud of his willingness to help. "All right, Tom. You can come with me. But remember, the city is a big place, and it can be dangerous. You must be careful and stay close to me." Tom nodded eagerly. He was excited about the adventure and the possibility of helping his family. The journey to the city. A few days later, John and Tom packed their bags and prepared to leave for the city. Mary and Lily saw them off at the village's edge. "Be safe and take care of each other," Mary said, hugging her husband and son. "We will," John replied. "I promise we'll return soon." Lily gave Tom a big hug. "I'll miss you, Tom. Come back soon." "I'll miss you too, Lily," Tom said, trying to hold back tears. "I'll bring you something special from the city." With that, John and Tom began their journey. The road to the city was long and tiring, but they were determined to reach their destination. As they walked, they passed through forests, crossed rivers, and climbed hills. After several days of travel, they finally arrived in the city. It was unlike anything Tom had ever seen before. The buildings were tall, the streets were busy with people and vehicles, and there were shops and markets everywhere. John and Tom found a small inn to stay in while they looked for work. The city was overwhelming, but they knew they had to stay focused on their goal: finding work. The next day, John and Tom set out to find work. They walked through the city, asking at various places if there were any jobs available. However, finding work was not as easy as they had hoped. Many places were already full, and others required skills that John didn't have. Days turned into weeks, and John and Tom were starting to lose hope. They had used up most of their money on food and lodging, and they were beginning to worry about how they would survive. One evening, as they were walking back to the inn, they noticed a construction site. The workers were busy building a new apartment complex. John decided to approach the site manager and ask if there were any jobs available. "We need more hands," the manager said. "But the work is hard, and the pay isn't great." "I'll take it," John replied immediately. "I'm willing to work hard, and I need this job to support my family." The manager nodded. "You can start tomorrow." John was relieved. It wasn't the ideal job, but it was better than nothing. He thanked the manager and returned to the inn with Tom. "That's great news, Father," Tom said, trying to stay positive. "At least we have something to start with." John smiled at his son's optimism. "Yes, it's a start. We'll save up some money, and when we have enough, we'll bring your mother and sister here." John began working at the construction site the next day. The work was physically demanding, and the hours were long. But John didn't complain. He was determined to earn enough money to bring his family to the city. Meanwhile, Tom helped out by running errands and doing odd jobs for people in the neighborhood. He earned a little money, which he saved for the family's future. Life in the city was challenging, but John and Tom supported each other. They missed Mary and Lily terribly, but they kept their spirits up by thinking about the better future they were working towards. Over time, John's hard work was noticed by the site manager. "You're a good worker, John," the manager said one day. "I'm going to give you a raise." John was overjoyed. The extra money would bring him closer to his goal of reuniting his family. A new friend. One day, while Tom was running errands, he met a boy named Sam. Sam was about the same age as Tom, and they quickly became friends. Sam lived with his grandmother in a small apartment in the city. His parents had passed away, and his grandmother was the only family he had left. Sam and Tom spent a lot of time together. They explored the city, played games, and talked about their dreams and aspirations. Sam told Tom about a free evening school where children from poor families could attend classes. "You should come with me, Tom," Sam suggested. "You can learn new things and improve your reading and writing. It will help you when you go back to school." Tom liked the idea and decided to attend the evening school with Sam. He knew that education was the key to a better future, and he didn't want to fall behind in his studies. The evening school was a small, humble place, but the teachers were kind and dedicated. They taught the children with patience and care, making sure that everyone understood the lessons. Tom enjoyed going to school and learning new things. He worked hard and made sure to balance his studies with his responsibilities to help his father. Hope for the future. As the weeks passed, John and Tom continued to work hard and save money. Slowly but surely, their savings grew. John knew it wouldn't be long before he could bring Mary and Lily to the city. One evening, John sat down with Tom and said, "We're getting close, Tom. Soon, we'll have enough money to bring your mother and sister here." Tom's face lit up with excitement. "That's wonderful, Father. I can't wait to see them again." "I can't wait either," John replied with a smile. "We'll be together again as a family, and we'll build a better life for ourselves." The thought of reuniting with Mary and Lily filled John's heart with hope and determination. He knew that the journey wasn't over yet, but he was willing to face any challenges that came their way. A letter home. A few days later, John decided to write a letter to Mary, telling her about their progress. He sat down at a small table in the inn and began to write. Dear Mary, I hope this letter finds you well. Tom and I are doing our best here in the city. It hasn't been easy, but we've found work and are slowly saving money. I'm working at a construction site, and Tom is helping out by doing odd jobs. We miss you and Lily very much. Every day, we think about the day when we can bring you both here to the city. I want you to know that we're getting close. It won't be long now. Please take care of yourselves. We'll be together again soon, and I promise we'll build a better life for our family. With all my love, John. After finishing the letter, John gave it to a messenger who agreed to deliver it to the village. He hoped that the letter would bring some comfort to Mary and reassure her that things were going well. A new beginning. A few weeks later, John finally had enough money saved to bring Mary and Lily to the city. He sent word to them, and they made arrangements for the journey. The day finally arrived when Mary and Lily would come to the city. John and Tom went to the edge of the city to meet them. As soon as they saw each other, they ran into each other's arms, overjoyed to be reunited. Tears of happiness filled Mary's eyes as she hugged John and Tom. I missed you both so much, she said. We missed you too, John replied, holding her close. But now we're together again, and we'll make a new start in this city. Lily hugged Tom tightly. I'm so happy to see you, Tom. The village was so lonely without you. Tom smiled and ruffled her hair. I missed you too, Lily. I have so much to tell you about the city. The family walked back to the small inn where John and Tom had been staying. It was a modest place, but it was a start. John had already spoken to the site manager, who promised to help him find a better place to live once they had saved more money. As they sat down together in their new home, John looked around at his family. They had been through so much, but they had made it through together. He knew that the road ahead would still be challenging, but with his family by his side, he was ready to face whatever came their way. And so, the poor family began a new chapter in their lives, filled with hope, determination, and love. They had big dreams, and they knew that as long as they worked hard and stayed united, they could achieve anything they set their minds to.